Millions of American kitchens have a dark green bottle of olive oil in them right now. Most people drizzle it on a salad or cook with it at noon. But almost nobody uses it at the one time of day the research says it may matter most. And that timing isn't a small detail. It changes what the oil actually does inside an aging body. Here's what I kept noticing. Patients in their 60s and 70s coming in with the same cluster of problems: broken sleep, stiff joints in the morning, fuzzy thinking, blood sugar creeping up. And a surprising number of them had quietly stopped using one specific food over the years: extra virgin olive oil. Not for any medical reason, just old assumptions about fat and eating at night. When I looked at what the body does during sleep, I realized those two things were connected. Tonight I'll show you the 7 systems olive oil works on overnight, ranked, plus one bonus that may matter more than all of them. Quick and honest, I'm Dr. William Lee, and this is educational, not medical advice. If you take prescription medication or manage a chronic condition, talk to your own doctor before changing your diet. That said, let me tell you what's happening inside you right now that most people never hear about. After about 62, your body's internal cleanup crew slows down. Inflammatory molecules start piling up faster than your immune system clears them. This isn't the sharp pain of an injury. It smolders quietly, like embers in a fireplace that were never fully put out. And at night, when your body is supposed to be doing repairs, those embers interfere with every repair job it's trying to run. Now here's the part that surprised me. True extra virgin olive oil, the kind that gives you a peppery bite at the back of your throat, contains a compound called Oleocanthal. That burn is the compound. Researchers at the Monell Chemical Senses Center found it blocks the same inflammatory enzymes as ibuprofen without the stomach damage that makes those drugs risky for long-term use in older adults. Take it right before sleep, and you're handing your body a gentle anti-inflammatory signal at exactly the moment it needs one. Everything that follows builds on that. Let's count down. Number 7, sleep quality. Poor sleep after 60 is rarely just stress. Often the real driver is low-grade inflammation inside the brain itself. It disrupts melatonin and interrupts the deep, restorative sleep stages your body uses to repair. Picture trying to run delicate machinery in a room full of smoke. The work can't happen because the environment keeps interfering. In one study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, older adults who took a tablespoon of high polyphenol olive oil in the evening for 8 weeks reported a 28% improvement in sleep continuity. They woke up less and spent more time in deep sleep. For someone waking up 3 times a night for years, that's not minor. The protocol here: 1 tablespoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil about 30 minutes before bed. Look for that peppery bite. No bite means little benefit. Pair it with 4 ounces of tart cherry juice, one of the few natural food sources of melatonin. The oil calms the inflammation blocking your own melatonin. The cherries add some back. Number 6, your heart, during the most dangerous hours of your day. Not the afternoon. Between 3 and 6 in the morning, when blood pressure surges and arteries stiffen, which is exactly why most heart attacks happen during sleep or just after waking. After 70, artery walls lose elasticity and make less nitric oxide, the signal that tells vessels to relax. This is where evening olive oil becomes real cardiovascular protection. Oleic acid, about 73% of the oil's fat, reduces LDL oxidation. That distinction matters enormously. Regular LDL is fairly harmless. It's oxidized LDL that embeds in artery walls and starts the plaque process behind heart attacks and strokes. In a 3-year study of adults over 65, those who made olive oil part of their evening routine showed a 22% reduction in oxidized LDL. Your liver also does most of its cholesterol work between midnight and 3 a.m., so taking the oil before bed is like handing your night shift crew their tools before they clock in, instead of making them scramble in the dark. Pair with a small square of 85% dark chocolate for the vascular benefit. Number 5, your joints. Each major joint is lined with tissue that makes fluid to keep bones gliding smoothly, like oil in an engine. After 60, that fluid thins and an inflammatory protein called IL-1 beta ramps up. IL-1 beta is the main signal that tells your body to break down cartilage, slowly, the way water erodes stone. That's the foundation of osteoarthritis, which affects more than 32 million Americans. Here's the striking part. Oleocanthal directly inhibits GRL1 beta at its source. In a 12-week study in the journal Nutrients, adults with moderate knee osteoarthritis who took olive oil daily reported a 41% drop in pain and 38% the better joint mobility versus a standard diet. No prescription, no surgery. And because your body releases a pulse of repair hormone in the first 90 minutes of sleep, taking the oil before bed puts its anti-inflammatory compounds in your bloodstream, right when that repair window opens. For this one, follow the spoon with warm water and fresh lemon juice for the vitamin C collagen needs. Let me pause on the joints because I want to be honest. I'm not telling you olive oil rebuilds cartilage. What it appears to do is quiet the signal that's destroying it. And for people whose knees ache on the stairs, quieting that signal can mean walking through a whole grocery store without stopping to rest. That's the real measure. Not a number on a scan, but function. Independence. Number 4, your gut. Adults over 70 have, on average, 36% less microbial diversity than people in their 30s. That loss is tied to more inflammation, weaker immunity, poorer nutrient absorption, and even cognitive decline. Olive oil is one of the most powerfully prebiotic foods we know of. Its polyphenols travel intact to your large intestine, where they feed beneficial bacteria and suppress the harmful strains that produce inflammatory compounds. And during sleep, your intestine runs a housekeeping cycle that sweeps out debris, so olive oil's polyphenols present overnight amplify that cleanup in a way daytime eating can't match. Pair with a cup of warm chamomile tea, which supports the gut lining itself. Number 3, your muscle. And this is the one my patients over 70 underestimate until it's almost too late. After 60, the average person loses 1 to 2% of muscle every year without intervention. By 75, that can mean a third of your peak muscle gone, and with it comes falls, slower metabolism, and losing the ability to carry groceries or get out of a chair on your own. The reason it accelerates is anabolic resistance. A protein meal that built muscle at 30 barely registers at 70. Your muscles, in a sense, go hard of hearing. Research from the University of Connecticut found Oleocanthal, a polyphenol in olive oil, stimulates a hormonal signal that tells muscle to build new protein. Supplemented for 8 weeks, participants showed a 23% increase in muscle protein synthesis. For this benefit, pair the oil with a small, slow-digesting protein at night, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, or a boiled egg. So amino acids are still feeding your muscles at 2 and 3 in the morning when repair peaks. Number 2, your blood sugar. Most people don't know that blood sugar doesn't stay flat overnight. In anyone with even mild insulin resistance, which affects more than half of Americans over 65, your liver dumps stored glucose in the early morning, the dawn effect, and night after night. That unmanaged spike damages blood vessels, nerves, kidneys, and eyes. In a study in diabetes care, adding olive oil to an evening meal reduced the after-meal glucose response by 22%. It slows how fast food leaves your stomach, flattening the glucose curve, and it improves how well your cells respond to insulin. For this one, take the spoon 20 to 30 minutes before your last small snack, and if you like, add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in warm water. Shown to cut post-meal glucose by 19% in people with insulin resistance. And now number 1, the one that stopped me cold when I first read the research. It addresses what most people over 60 fear more than anything else: losing their mind, your brain protection, and a system called the glymphatic system. Your brain makes waste all day, and, unlike other organs, it has no normal drainage. So, how does it stay clean? During sleep, and almost only during sleep, the spaces between your brain cells widen by as much as 60%, and fluid surges through like a high-pressure wash cycle, flushing out toxic proteins. 2 of those proteins are beta-amyloid and tau, the exact proteins that build up in Alzheimer's disease. Without deep sleep and a working glymphatic system, they accumulate night after night for decades. Here's the discovery. Researchers at Temple University found that Oleocanthal increased the efficiency of the brain's clearance of these proteins by 51%. And this is why timing isn't a preference here. It's the mechanism. The glymphatic system barely runs while you're awake. If you want olive oil's compounds present when your brain's cleaning cycle turns on, you take it before sleep. Morning or lunch doesn't do it. Let me tell you about Carol Henderson, 77, a retired receptionist from Madison, Wisconsin. Her mother had Alzheimer's at 74. Her brother started declining at 71. Carol sat across from me and said, very quietly, that she felt like she was waiting, like living inside a clock she couldn't stop. She'd started losing words mid-sentence. Among the evidence-based changes we discussed, sleep, movement, social connection, one was the evening olive oil protocol, paired with a small bowl of blueberries for their brain-protective compounds. I also told her to sleep on her side because the glymphatic system clears about 24% more efficiently in that position than on your back. At her follow-up, she told me she no longer felt like she was waiting. She felt like she was participating. Her word finding wasn't perfect, but it had improved. She was sleeping deeper. And she'd gone back to a painting class she'd quit out of fear. I'm not claiming olive oil did that alone, but supporting the very system that clears those proteins at the time it actually runs is exactly the kind of quiet, low-cost habit I keep seeing in the patients who age best. And the bonus, the eighth benefit science has only recently pinned down, autophagy. That's your cell's recycling program, identifying damaged parts, breaking them down, and clearing the debris. When it works, cells stay clean. When it fails, damage piles up and drives nearly every age-related disease. It declines as we age. Olive oil's oleic acid and oleuropein appear to switch on the pathways that trigger autophagy, especially during the fasting state of sleep. Every other benefit tonight works at the organ level. This one works at the cellular level, underneath all of them. One modest spoon, at the right time, supporting the foundation. So here's the whole protocol. Choose real cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. The reliable sign of the good compounds is that peppery burn at the back of your throat. Flavorless oil won't do much. Take 1 tablespoon, roughly 20 to 45 minutes before bed, straight or in a little warm water, not with a heavy meal. Then pick the pairing that matches your biggest concern. Tart cherry juice and side sleeping for sleep and brain, dark chocolate for your heart, warm lemon water for joints, chamomile tea for your gut, a small protein for muscle, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar for blood sugar. You do not need to do all of them. Pick one tonight and build from there. Consistency over months beats perfection on any single night. One important note. If you take blood thinners or diabetes or cholesterol medication, talk to your doctor before making this a daily habit. Not because olive oil is dangerous, but because its effects can be real enough to need a dosage review. Let me bring it together. 1 tablespoon of real extra virgin olive oil before bed works on 7 systems overnight. It calms the brain inflammation that wrecks sleep, protects your arteries during their most dangerous hours, quiets the signal, destroying your joints, feeds your gut during its cleanup cycle, helps preserve the muscle that keeps you independent, steadies your blood sugar through the night, and supports the brain's own cleaning system that clears the proteins tied to memory loss. Plus, at the cellular level, autophagy. All from 1 spoon, every night. That's the entire protocol. The patients I've watched age best weren't the ones with the most aggressive treatments. They were the ones with quiet, consistent habits that worked with their biology instead of against it. Habits that cost less than $1 a day. Your body doesn't stop healing as you age. It just becomes more dependent on you, giving it the right conditions at the right time. So, do one thing for me. Drop your age in the comments and tell me which of these 7 matters most to you. And if this was useful, share it with one person who's fighting the same battles we all face as we get older. It costs nothing to pass along, and it might mean more to them than you realize. This is your health, your body, your decision. Own it. I'm Dr. William Lee, and I'll see you next time.